Show the camera. Look, Peter. Just got him on the tail. Me and the wife are headed out to the lake for opening day of Kentucky's modern gun season. It is November the 9th. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to get some gas in the boat and then head on up to the lake and try to get out there by 3 o'clock, set up completely ready to rock and roll. And we're going to be hunting in a buck only zone. So hopefully some of the deer I've gotten on camera there all year long that have had no pressure whatsoever, from my part at least. Now it's public, so who's to say if anyone else hasn't been in there, but from my part there's not really been any pressure. But so let's see if we just can't get some bucks on the ground, brother. So stick with us and let's get this thing rocking. We made it to the water, and now we're going to jet across through here and get to our spot. A deer right up here in front of us that just crested the ridge line. Good news. Alrighty, we made it to our spot. We're just up on this big old rock bluff that looks down over this big old bottom. There's a big thicket to our left that kind of does an oxbow in the water. And then there's a bunch of doe beds and everything that I have found over the last couple years. They always bed down that point, and it oxbows around as well. So this one big area has a bunch of white oaks and red oaks. And there's a bunch of doe bedding on both sides. And not only that, but they use this as buck bedding too. This is actually the spot about 75 yards to 80 yards that way, where I shot my big 11 pointer back in 2020 here. So hopefully we can get a buck walking through here, because once again, it is a buck only zone. So you can't shoot doe or anything like that. No, hopefully we can get my sweetie's first deer. So I'm excited, and I know she's excited. So we're gonna knock this out. Alrighty, everybody, it's about 10 after 5, and the wind has finally died down. And these thermals are starting to shift now. They're starting to pull off the ridge and drop back down into the bottom, back towards the water, which is exactly what you want this time of the evening. So we got a lot of movement. Something over here on the other side of this little ridge bench. And hopefully something will rise right up in front of us or wrap down around this point. And so see if we can't get something here. Alrighty, guys, it's November the 11th. It's about 25 after 7. We're laughing because this is the 5th time we're trying to get this interview done without a mic dying or something happening. The camera not working. So either way, like I said, it's November the 11th, and we're still in modern gun season here in Kentucky, but we are on our private farm or private property in the city. And so we're using our orange, but we're not hunting with the rifle today. We got the crossbow, and we're in the same spot as where Peter shot his 7-pointer last week. And so we've already had some good action this morning. As you've seen a little bit ago, the big 7 rode through and he worked this big scrape and everything over here that I made a mock scrape back in the late summer, roughly somewhere through there. And so every deer on this whole property has hit this scrape, or every mature buck and little buck has hit this scrape, and even does have hit it all throughout the season. And they're just using it as a really good checkpoint and everything. And I told my wife yesterday that we needed to get out here early this morning to sit on top of this scrape to make sure that we catch one of these mature bucks coming through wanting to freshen it back up, because that's just what they do. And but hopefully we get some more action going here this morning. The way it's already starting out, it's great. And it's a good cool morning. It's not hot. It's good overcast. And we got a good southwest wind coming across the ridge here, hitting this bottom, flowing up on top of this flat and blowing everything out back behind us. And so the way it's lining up already this morning is it's really ideal right now. So we're going to hang in there and see if we can't get this beautiful woman her first buck. So let's get it. Alrighty, guys. So it's 11 after 9. We've not had any movement at all since the big 7 rode through here right at daybreak. And I did a couple little call sequences to see if I could entice anything in the area to move in, but even the cameras right now, they're not going off on around the property. So like I said earlier, I had a lot of chasing going on yesterday evening and last night and late into this morning, 2 and 3 o'clock into the morning. But so we'll just hang tight here and see if we can get anything in here. We'll probably roll out of here close to noon, somewhere through there. And so let's just hope that we start getting some movement. So hang with us. Alrighty, the wife and I are on our way over to the one of our permission pieces to try to get her buck on the ground. It is November the 20th, and it is 4:04. My favorite time of the day, 4 o'clock, my favorite number. And but anyhow, we are on our way over here, and we have had a really strong front blow in this afternoon, and the temperature has dropped significantly. Within the next 2 days, we have a 30-degree temperature swing. We're going to be getting some freezing temperatures as well. They're also going to be calling for a little bit of snow, which is great. This is the last week of gun season, and but we are going out here with the crossbow because she likes to shoot the crossbow more than she likes to shoot a gun, so which is understandable. But nonetheless, we are on our way over here, and we will see you when we get there. Alrighty, guys. So it's November the 20th. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, pushing into the evening, and we just got completely set up and everything. And I've had action on camera all day long before this front pushed in. We had a really big rain come in earlier, and it brought all this cold weather in, like I was saying a little bit ago. And it's dropped the temps significantly. And we're hoping and praying that one of the big shooters show up on cam tonight to give us an opportunity to be able to get this deer and to be able to get my wife her very first buck. So we're excited, and we're going to sit here and try to be as quiet as we can. But when we get together, we tend to laugh and cut up quite a bit. So, but we have a wonderful west-northwest wind, so that means the west is coming from this side across the property, and the north is right over here, so it's all blowing back down into this point way back over here and dumps right back off into the other property lines and everything. So I think we have a really good opportunity tonight, and so we're going to hang in here tight, and let's see if we can get some bucks on the ground. Alrighty, it's about 5:07. So we've heard a little movement back here behind us. A couple squirrels got really spooked out and heard some moving down around this point, but nothing so far has shown up. We're just now getting into the prime time, so it's definitely dropping in temperature. It's probably dropped another 5 degrees since we've been in the blind, and so we're going to sit right here, and hopefully in the next few minutes we'll have a nice buck roll through here, and Mama can smack that thing. I just asked her a second ago, so which one are you going to take? And she said, I'll know when it steps in front of me. So hopefully we can get one that is Mama approved. But hang with us, and we're going to try to get a buck on the ground. body, had you guys just seen, that was one of the bucks on this property. He's a solid little 8-pointer. He's probably about a 2.5-year-old deer. But he's got a little body, but a nice rack. He'll be a giant in the next 2 years, probably. I'd say he'll make a giant. And even next year, I'd like to see how far he blows up at 3.5. I think he'll make a solid 10-point next year, or even just a really big, heavy 8, because he had some good tine length, good cagey rack. But Mama wanted to let him go, so no worries there. There's a lot more on this property to choose from, so we're going to continue to sit here. It's almost dark, and but that was a great opportunity right there. As long as anyone, or as long as another mature deer can play the script like that one, that'd be perfect. So stick with us. Alrighty, we made it back home. So as you've seen, she passed that 8-pointer, which was a really nice deer. And I mean, that was my first deer. So she passed that deer, but she's definitely a really good patient hunter. And one thing she always tells me, she says, I want to feel what you feel whenever you're ready to shoot one. So, which is a good thing. I mean, I think it's a great attitude to have, to want to be able to honor the game and to want to be able to see it at its fullest potential. And there's nothing wrong with shooting young deer or anything like that at all, but for her to have her heart set on a certain deer that she wants to feel as if is worthy enough for her to go outside of her comfort zone and to take her own deer is really cool. So we're going to keep pounding this thing and keep seeing if we can get on some deer. Like I said, this is the last week of gun season here in Kentucky, so we have this probably Friday morning we're going to roll out, but we're probably going to go to the lake and hunt down there, because I've got some big ones that's been coming on camera this past week chasing a bunch of doe. And so we're going to see if we can't get down there and get on some good ones. So, because there's a couple down there that are studs. So, but anywho, so hang with us and let's get in on some buck action. Alrighty, it's November the 22nd, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I've got myself and the wife over here. She's bundled up like I don't know what, just stuffed harder than a bag of taters. But we are headed over here to the permission piece this morning to hunt out of the blind. We were going to go to the lake, but the weather, it's been raining a little bit this morning, and the last thing I want to do is get her out in the middle of the woods and it's spitting rain. But it's supposed to quit later this morning going into the afternoon, so we're going to hunt this morning here, and then as the day progresses we'll load up and head out to the lake for an evening hunt. That is, if we don't get one this morning. So stay tuned and let's see if we can get some bucks on the way. Alrighty guys, it is 9 o'clock. So as you've seen, we just had that little button buck show up a minute ago, and he grazed around for a minute and then headed on back down the hill. He got a little spooked out by something. I don't know what it was. It wasn't our wind or our scent. The wind's coming out this way and blowing back around this way. So he couldn't have scented us, but he got a little squirrely about something. But we're going to give it probably another hour and a half, somewhere through there, maybe 2, and then load our stuff up and head back to the house and get everything packed up and ready for this evening's hunt, afternoon/evening hunt down at the lake. And we got some big deer down there on camera, and hopefully we can get one of them on the ground, because there's some good ones out there. Alrighty, me and the wife have decided to just go back out to the permission piece because that one buck that rode through this morning, we're both pretty sure it was a deer that we did not have on camera. And at the looks of him, at the glance of what I seen, he looked to be a very solid mature deer. So I'm hoping that he comes back through this evening and scent checks that area. And because in the evening, a lot of these doe push into this area to feed and everything. So hopefully we can get a crack at him or one of these other mature deer. So we're going to go ahead and load up and get on over there. Alrighty, guys, we made it back out here this afternoon. It is 12 after 2, and it's still really cool out here. The wind has stayed pretty consistent northwest all day long. And we actually seen some fresh tracks coming in on the roadway, coming into the property where our footsteps were. There were some tracks over top of our footsteps, which is pretty comical. But we're hoping that this evening is it. We opted to come back to this property because of that buck that we seen this morning. He looked like a good deer. Unfortunately, we was not able to get him on camera because he just skirted through there so fast that he didn't give us enough time. But we are going to hit this hard tonight, and Mama has pulled the trigger on that. Whatever makes her heart flutter tonight, she's going to get the job done. So I just don't think she wants to go sit out in the cold tomorrow morning. So, but nonetheless, we're going to try to see what we can get done. So stick with us and let's see if we can get some bucks on the ground.